Ever feel like you're playing a game but you don't actually know the rules? Well, today we're going to break down something called strategic intelligence. It's really all about seeing those hidden dynamics of power so you can navigate the world a whole lot better and, protect your interests. Let's dive in. Yeah, this quote, it kind of hits you right in the gut, doesn't it? Because we've all seen this play out. You work hard, you're talented, but sometimes that's just not enough. And if you ignore that reality, you're just leaving yourself wide open. Look, strategic intelligence isn't about becoming cynical, not at all. It's about arming yourself with a dose of realism. And here's where everything flips. Understanding these dynamics, that's not a reason to get discouraged. No way! That is your source of power. The second you see the whole board clearly, you stop being just a pawn on it, and you start becoming a player. Okay, so what's the first step to playing the game effectively? Well, it all starts with cultivating a very specific kind of mindset. So this is our core idea right here, strategic intelligence. And let's be really clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's about observation. It's like, while everyone else is getting caught up in the emotional storm of a situation, you're the one standing back, calmly watching which way the currents are flowing and planning your next move. The first tool in our strategic toolkit is all about managing information. Let's get into the power of being strategically unclear, a concept we'll call calculated opacity. Machiavelli absolutely nailed this. People form their opinions of you based on what they can see, on the limited information you put out there. So calculated opacity is just the art of mastering that flow of information to carefully shape their perception. Now, again, this isn't about being deceptive. It's about treating your personal information like it's a currency. You wouldn't just hand it all out for free, right? By revealing only what's necessary, you create this sense of mystery. And that mystery fuels curiosity, and curiosity is a direct line to influence. You stop just being a character in the narrative. You start controlling it. Just look at the difference here. The transparent answer, it's predictable, totally forgettable. The conversation just kind of dies. But the strategic answer? That's intriguing. It makes people wonder. It invites them to engage more, but on your terms, which means you stay in control of the interaction. Okay, so once you've gotten a handle on what you reveal, the next step is mastering how you reveal it. This brings us right to our second trait, the adaptive persona. This is all about tailoring your approach for maximum impact. I know, this quote can sound a little manipulative at first glance, but really, it's about understanding that different situations call for different sides of your personality. The goal isn't to be fake, but to strategically show the part of you that's going to connect most effectively with your audience. You know, the best analogy for this is water. It can crash like a powerful wave, or it can be as calm as a still pond. It always takes the shape of its container, but guess what? It's always water. You can adapt your style to the person you're talking to without ever changing your core values. This isn't being inauthentic, this is just a really high-level communication skill. And this is exactly how it works in practice. If you're talking to someone analytical, you bring them the data. To someone who's more emotional, you connect with their feelings. For a practical person, you show them how it works. And for that visionary, you paint the big picture. You see? You're literally speaking their language, and that makes it almost effortless for them to hear you. This is a superpower. Alright, now for a concept that is incredibly powerful, but it's also really easy to misunderstand. Let's talk about emotional control through detachment. That famous line, it sounds so harsh, right? But it's not about being a tyrant. It's about a deep understanding of human nature. The fear of consequence, the fear of losing your respect or a valuable opportunity, is often a way more reliable motivator than just affection. And that kind of influence is rooted in detachment. So let's just think about this for a second. In any interaction, any negotiation where something is on the line, who really has the upper hand? The power always lies with the person who is less attached to the outcome. Simple as that. The one who is willing to get up and walk away from the table, they hold all the cards. Their freedom from needing the deal gives them the mental clarity and the leverage to control the whole negotiation. So here's the crucial point. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring without being desperate. When you're not afraid of losing something, you can't be manipulated by the threat of it. And that gives you this immense psychological freedom and strategic clarity. And that clarity, that psychological freedom, it leads directly to our final trait, And honestly, this is the one that truly separates the effective people from the ones who are just busy. It's outcome obsession. Most people just get sidetracked. They want to win the argument, they want to prove they're right, they want to make their ego feel good. An outcome-obsessed person just cuts right through all that noise. Their focus is on one thing and one thing only, the finish line. This slide just illustrates that mental shift perfectly. The average focus is totally driven by ego. How can I prove I'm right? But the strategic focus is driven by results. What outcome am I trying to achieve? Making this one little shift in your thinking will radically change the results you get in pretty much every part of your life. So we've just covered some seriously powerful strategic tools. But like any tool, how you use it is what really matters. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole discussion, the ethical framework. This is the guiding principle, right here. This knowledge is a shield, not a sword. Its whole purpose is to protect you and help you operate effectively in the world, not to go out and cause harm. So here are your rules of engagement. Use this stuff to see through manipulation. Use it to create better outcomes for everyone involved, not just yourself. And maybe most importantly, remember that the goal is not to gain power over other people. The goal is to gain power over yourself, your reactions, your emotions, your own strategy. That is true self-mastery. Ultimately, strategic intelligence is just a powerful tool. The impact it has on the world depends entirely on the hands that are wielding it. So the final question, that's for you. What kind of person will you be? What will you build with it?